What's up, boys? Josh from Team Shuffles here. This week we have another featured deck profile for you. Who is you, and what do you have, my friend?
My name's Jake, and we're playing Crusadia OTK with a little bit of spice.
With a little bit of spice. Okay, bro. Let's see what you got. Oh, hey. That's a nice playmat you got there, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Represent.
Rep. All right, let's see what you got, bro.
All right. Main deck. Obviously, we're playing Crusadias, so we have to play a lot of Crusadias.
Nice rarities, too.
Yeah. Thank you, Konami, for rarity bros.
Except that for that guy.
Sorry, Leonis. So, yeah, we max out on these guys. It's absolutely crucial that you see one because they're pretty much the entire combo.
Have you thought about bumping Leonis down to 2 because it's the trashiest one of the 3?
I absolutely have, and I've done it before. And a lot of people do, and it's really kind of a personal preference thing. I think maxing out is probably the best.
You see it every time, right? Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
A lot of people also cut like one Leonis, and they'll run like a reinforcement to search the Arborea.
Okay, yeah.
I don't really think that's as good, especially with like Thunder running around. Then it's just it's kind of a dead card. I mean, you kind of lose to Thunder anyways, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So, yeah, 15 Crusadias, and then we play these two Crusadia spells.
Yep.
This one really helps you OTK when you need to, and this one is in there if you need to go first, or if you hard draw this one, you can search this one off the Regulex 2, which is super good. We don't play Testament.
No? What's your reasoning behind that?
Testament is not very good if you're trying to one-punch somebody. If you're just going for a one-punch, the effect to draw is not going to come up. And its effect to protect to keep your Crusadia monsters safe doesn't
it wouldn't make
up.
any sense if you're going to OTK that turn anyway.
Yeah, and it doesn't really come up in this build because of these cards right here. So we're playing 2 Ranryu, 1 Hat Tricker, 3 Quick Launch, and 2 Magna Rocket.
Okay.
So essentially, the goal here is to start doing your normal Crusadia plays, and then use these level 4s to make Azathoth. So you go normal Crusadia, Link into Magius, special 2 level 4s, overlay into Azathoth. That turns off a lot of big boards. It's essentially, I mean, it's like Dark Ruler No More. But you can
and those 2 are super easy summons anyway.
Yeah, it's like these you can summon as soon as you put the Magius out.
Right.
And then the Hat Trick can special as long as there's 2 monsters on the field. And if you're going second, your opponent probably put 2 monsters on the board.
Sure.
So it's just free.
Yep.
Quick launches are super good. They just special Magna Rocket and not once per turn. Just
what's the reason behind Magna Rocket? Just because it's a level 4?
It really doesn't matter. You can play Tracer as long as it's a level 4 dragon. Rocket monster. It doesn't really matter. I just happen to have 2 Magna Rocket dragons.
Okay.
And none of the others. So yeah, that's that. All right. Now for the fun cards. We're playing double Dogoran, double Thunder King, 1 Gamma Seal, double Waterfront.
Oh, you're running Waterfront
and a Terraforming. This could you could make this just a 3rd Waterfront if you really want to. It just means less dead cards really if you do 2 and 1. The reason we're playing 2 of these and of these guys is because since we're maining this Waterfront, it gains counters, and if you give your opponent like a Gamma Seal, and you just hand them a monster that can negate your stuff.
Right.
So you want it's these 2, and then Radiant are the only ones that aren't quick effects and that have like important effects.
Right.
So these are the ones that you can hand your opponent and they can't actually do anything, which is really important.
Okay.
I'm not playing Slumber or anything. I don't think Slumber is very good this format. So having the 2 and 2 of the same names doesn't really matter. None of their special summons are once per turn either.
All right.
The Kaijus are absolutely insane. If you open multiple Kaijus, they just become extenders. You can special them to zones your link monsters points to. You can use them to link up, and then at the end, you can just special to Equamax's arrow, and then Equamax just gets insanely huge. It makes one punching that much easier.
Plus, running Waterfront will help you plus to get to search anyway.
It's just super good. Especially like if you like open 1 and like the Waterfront, you can activate the waterfront, activate the Kaiju, and then at some point in the combo, you can just special summon the Gamma Seal out of your hand. And if your opponent still had negates on board, guess what? You can negate them.
Right.
Super good. I think that ratio is good too. I feel like I never see too many, and I feel like they just seeing multiple Kaijus is just super good in this deck. So now we're playing a small little Striker Engine. So yeah, Striker Engine, super good, going first and going second. You grab your Engage, can grab your Hornet Drones, and you can grab your Jamming Waves. You could also play an extra Widow Anchor or an Afterburners or something. I just think that this deck has a really big problem with back row and doesn't have as big of a problem with monsters.
Right.
So that's why I play the Jamming Waves. That's pretty much it. I mean, Striker Engine is pretty self-explanatory. It's really solid. Last two cards, two Twin Twisters. We take a very hard L to back row. So it's just insane. Like I don't know how many times somebody flips back row on me and then I can't play the game.
Right.
And that's it. So that's it for the main deck.
Okay.
Now for the extra deck. Crusadias, 2 Magius, 1 Spatha, 1 Regulex, and 1 Equimax. At first glance, this Spatha doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I'll explain that in just a second when I get to the rest of the cards in the extra deck. So the reason I'm playing like this ratio, and especially 2 Magius and 2 of the Crusadia Link 2s especially, is if you're going first and you make your Magius, and then you're overlaying the 2 for Nyarla before you go into Azathoth, if your opponent has Nibiru, they're forced to use it. So they have to use Nibiru there. Because if that Nyarla is your 5th summon, and if they're smart, they'll Nibiru you there.
Right.
Which gives you a token, which you can link off into like a Link Spider. And then if you have another Crusadia monster, you can special it, make another Link 2, link down into Magnus, special again, and then continue your combo, which is super good. So that's the Crusadias. Obviously, one punch man himself. As mentioned, we have Nyarla and Azathoth. Yep. Super good, super good. Protects you from hand traps when you're going first, and just shuts off boards going second. I think it's just insanely good. And absolutely worth running. Playing 1 Kagari and actually 1 Link Spider. This was a Hayate or a Shizuku, but I feel like it comes up, especially against the Nibiru, that it just makes more sense to have a Link Spider in here. Especially because we weren't using Hayate or Shizuku's effect at all, really.
Right.
So being able to go into this with the Nibiru token is just really good. And you could also link the Sky Striker token into it.
Okay.
So now we get into the fun part. Agripane, LP, Pisty, Agripane, Hot Red, Saryuja, Erratic Seal. At this point, it becomes pretty apparent what we're trying to do when we're going first.
I see that, yeah.
And kind of why we're playing the Spatha here. So the goal going first is to side out your going second cards, side in your going first cards, and then put up a lot of negates. And that's a lot of the reason.
So you're basically smoke screening.
Yeah. So we're blind going second, and then our opponent says, "Oh wow,
let's make him go first."
Yeah. Like, what is this one punch deck gonna do going first? And then you just put out like 4 negates, and then what are they gonna do? So yeah, these are all the cards on the side that I play to facilitate that.
Okay.
So yeah, this enables the normal Crusadia Guard Dragon combo. Special that off LB, special Draco back, Saryuja, keep going. These are just extra Dragon Extenders. They're really good when you're doing the Guard Dragon plays because they're just free dragons. I play the 1 Waterfront in the side to make seeing Waterfront a lot easier, because when you see Waterfront, you find a free Gamma Seal with
Right, it's two more negates than you would have
2
otherwise.
to 3 negates depending on how the turn goes out, and then this one card just makes it easier to go into as a thought when you're going first.
Okay.
Next we're playing also for going first 3 Solemn Judgment. This came up several times today. Super duper good. I originally thought about it because I was like, oh, okay, I can put up this huge board going first, but what happens when my opponent activates Dark Ruler no more? The answer is I just lose.
Right.
So if I can make the board, or even I don't even have to make the whole board. If I just see some judgments, I can just set a judgment, and then it's probably okay. So that's really good. So that's all the cards we decided for going first. I picked 8 because 8 seemed like kind of the maximum amount that I would ever side out to go first.
Okay.
So, and I don't have to side in all of those every time when I'm trying to go first if there's certain cards that are good against specific matchups. So now we have other cards that would be good for going second. So we have Triple Red Reboot in here. We take a really fat L to a lot of trap cards. Namely, like Artifact Sanctum. I got hit with that a couple times today.
Yeah, you did.
We do not like Sanctum, and Red Reboot is pretty good for that. Evenly matched, stuff like that.
Yep.
And Judgments, actually. A lot of decks, especially like something like Sky Striker, they go first, they set like a Judgment. The normal summon in this deck is insanely crucial. If you hit the normal summon, the turn just ends. So if I normal summon a Crusadia and they're like, sorry, Judgment.
Right, reboot.
What am I
reboot for game.
Yeah, like
right.
I can just red reboot. If they set something else, I'm gonna one punch them anyways. So it's not too big a deal. We're also playing the third Twister for just more back row hate. And 3 Dark Ruler. I wasn't sure about this card at first. I definitely would not main it because it
conflicts with your one punch.
With the win condition. You can't one punch through it. However, if you're playing against a deck like Danger Thunder or Pendulums or something, it comes up quite well.
You can shut off their Colossus and keep going.
If you just turn off their entire board, you can use all the Crusadia cards, get up in your Ecomax, use the field spell. Your Ecomax can then run over every single monster. They can't protect themselves. So then they're left with a clear board, and you have an Ecomax negate.
Yeah.
And that's kind of really what we're going for. You can at least clear the board, and then hopefully next turn...
And then just simplify the game state for him. Right, okay.
Absolutely.
Right, I got you.
Put yourself way ahead.
Right.
So yeah, that is it.
All right, bro. Man, there's a lot of talk about this deck because the Smokescreen idea took completely off guard by that.
Yeah, it was. I guess when I Smokescreened against you that last time, what was it, last week, I had still room for the extended combo where we have Dragoon Knight Romulus and Apollosa and Dragon Ravine and the Dragon Ruler. Essentially, when you play those cards, it turns your 2-card Crusadia combo into Apollosa with 3 negates and a hot red, so that's 4 negates. If you see an extra monster you can summon, Apollosa becomes 4 negates, and if you saw Waterfront, you put up Gamma Seal.
Which becomes 7 negates.
7 negates for 6 cards, which is pretty nuts.
That's so saucy.
I had to cut it because there was not space in here for all those cards.
Right.
Without like cutting Ecomaxes and cutting Magiuses, and so I just didn't want to deal with that because essentially the goal when you're going first is put up enough negates so that they can't kill you, and then leave enough cards in your hand so that you can Ecomax one punch them next turn.
Sure, right.
So yeah, there are also, instead of like the Guard Dragon engine, you could also play the Orcust engine, and instead of Smokescreen in the Guard Dragons, you could Smokescreen in Orcust,
right?
Which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, man. All right, brother. Good luck on your future endeavors with the deck because it's super hot, bro. All right, man. Team Shovels out.